With me now in the studio is South East England MEP Catherine Bearder, who lives in Oxfordshire and who's been campaigning against human trafficking.
After 8 years as South East England's representative for the pro-European pressure group Britain in Europe, Catherine Bearder was elected to the Liberal Democrats Party in 2009, when she was also elected to the corresponding political group in European Parliament, which is given the lengthier name of the Group of the Alliance of Liberals and Democrats for Europe. As a representative for the southeast of England, I decided to shadow her at work in the historic town of Sandwich in Kent.
Time to adapt to increased competition.
Is it on the coast? Was it?
What's that, sorry?
Sandwich.
It's a little bit in. It's got a bit of a tidal river. It was a huge port in medieval times, but it's all silted up. So there's a few sort of yachts and pleasure boats come out, but nothing more. We started at 9 o'clock this morning with our first event of the day. 5 o'clock. Well, Catherine's out at 5 because she has to come all the way from Oxford. Our region's very large. It covers all the way from Oxford to here in Dover. We went into the town of Dover where we had a meeting with the Harbour Board, the chairman, the chief executive of the Harbour Board, who control the port, parts of it, and we talked about the huge number of jobs in the area that are dependent on our trade with Europe and how important it is we keep an open, strong relationship with Britain in Europe with no barriers to trade.
The agenda today, however, was very much focused on Innovation House in the Discovery Park site, where the large American pharmaceutical company Pfizer has been based. Their withdrawal from the site in 2011 stripped Sandwich of one of its major employers, but its facilities continue to attract companies in the pharmaceutical, life science and biotechnology sectors.
It's like being sort of Google California when I used to come to Pfizer here.
Google I went to the Google headquarters in Dublin. It is just like going to Playland.
Oh,
they have movable desks and they have walls that you can play with and they have great toys.
They're all the tax
creative
advisors.
space.
Yeah, that's right. Yes, I mean it's just a wonderful place to work.
We're all here.
Hello, sorry
Welcome
we're
to
late.
Discovery Park.
Yeah, Catherine Bearder.
Hello, lovely to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Hello, Dick Newby.
Lovely to meet
Good
you.
to meet you.
Sarah Smith. Hello, Sarah.
Steve Whitehouse, nice to see you.
Nice to see you.
I'm Russell Rustin.
Lovely to meet you. I'll just shake your hand.
After meeting the secretary, pleasantries were exchanged again with Paul Barber, managing director at Discovery Park. The topic for discussion would be that of reducing the energy costs of running an oversized power plant, no longer necessary with much of the site vacated after the withdrawal of Pfizer.
I don't know how much of the history you know about
I know this.
the closure announcement.
Yeah.
I mean, one drawback of Pfizer is that they tended to overspec everything. And so when they worked out how big to build that combined heat and power plant, they assumed that the site was fully operational, really going for it, and then added on a bit for good luck. It contingency, just in case, and built to suit that requirement. The trouble is that we've now got a power plant that is so inefficient to operate at the demands that we're placing on it. I mean, we're largely now just powering lights and computers, and it's just too expensive to run. So,
What does it burn?
gas. It's a gas-fired power station, really, yeah. So it would cost us more to buy the gas to produce the electricity than to buy the electricity. Sorry?
You can't feed it back into the grid, or you're not.
Well, we looked at that, and ironically, we're in the process of selling it to someone who's going to do that.
That new buyer of the power plant is Estover Energy, a UK-based renewable energy company who have had their application approved by Dover District Council to build a steam turbine plant fuelled by low-grade wood from the local area. It is thought that around 100 jobs will be created during construction, something which will help Discovery Park's objective of creating 3,000 jobs by 2017.
I mean, it's a large kettle, really, the heat water. And actually, all the buildings are heated and also cooled by steam. Air conditioning units are steam powered, which is because steam is a byproduct of the CHP plant.
At present, the park plays host to 6 science and technology companies and 13 in the life science sector. With that in mind, Catherine saw it necessary to visit one of the site's laboratories and monitor its progress.
Part of the art, we are extracting these valuable compounds, right? These are these oils which are really good for your mind, your heart, and also for your well-being. We are now trying to get our process really scaled up. So we've done the basic R&D, as they say, but we are now scaling up. It's a shame that you've come slightly too early, because on Friday, our pilot plant is going to be sort of delivered over here. So our pilot plant is the next scale up, right? And that will be producing samples for a number of our partners. And we are then going to evaluate that. And then in 2014, we were getting our commercial plant in place on site here. So I'm going to be very nice to these guys.
I thought you might be giving us a ladleful.
Yes, well, when you here next week, we'll give you a ladleful.
Okay.
Good meeting us.
Thanks very much.
Thank you much.
With many of the site's new companies doing business on a European level, Catherine firmly believes that the ambitions of places such as Discovery Park would suffer if the UK were to cancel its EU membership.
Thank you very much.
Lovely.
Good.
Do you reckon they'll just put all the sandwiches straight away?
Yes, I know.
Sort of sugar rush.
Yeah.
I don't know whether it was the caffeine in the coffee or the sugar in the biscuits, but I was thinking, oh, I need food.
And so with stomachs rumbling, we made a beeline for the town's sandwich bar, famed for making the UK's favourite lunchtime snack.
Hello, how are you? All right, good. We'll have some sun today. Lovely.
Can I have a sandwich for £10?
I'm a bit slow with Catherine.
Cheese and can I have tomato in that rather than onion? Yes, of course you can.
Sitting outside having a coffee. It's so civilised. Cheese and tomato.
Cheese and tomato. Take a cheese and tomato.
The sandwich shop was certainly no letdown. While people were trying to find the rightful owner of the cheese and tomato sandwich, I sunk my teeth into the sumptuous beef and horseradish. The sun was shining, and Catherine was able to converse at leisure with local Lib Dem councillors, both past and present. Surely lunch hours could never get any better than this.
Right, looking at me. Very nice, very nice.
Are all the places in our constituency as nice as this?
Some of them are a little more challenging, but this is quite a nice one.
What's the worst?
Oh, I don't know that. I would say worst. I mean, everywhere has problems. Just because they have nice front doors doesn't mean to say everything's tickety-boo behind the doors. Everybody has issues and concerns. So even the nicest, leafiest place sometimes has, as we know, in Oxfordshire, out in the lovely leafy villages of Oxfordshire, which is David Cameron's constituency, is where 5 Croatian girls were being kept. They were being trafficked and taken out to the villages. So everywhere has its problems, and so it's a lot of work for me, but I enjoy it.
With Catherine having to cover the whole of the southeast from Oxford to Dover, petrol stops are commonplace. All these sorts of things covered by the expenses.
No, well, yeah, I get paid a petrol allowance. Hello there, can you fill it up?
That's the expensive one, yes.
Cheap one.
I get paid a petrol allowance on the mileage that I've done.
With all of her official assignments finished for the day, Catherine decides to stop by at Dover Port before catching the train back to her home in Oxford. Her son Tim runs his own production company and helps maintain Catherine's website, so the opportunity to take some shots of her on a sunny day at Dover was too good to miss. I had hoped to film Catherine on the train back home, but sadly it wasn't to be. Nevertheless, today had given me some insight into an MEP's day of work in the constituency.
So, I'll turn it off now. I've had enough of that.